All right, coming right back at you. It's Andre Key with another episode of Boss Up with Mr. Key, the real estate edition. And this one right here is like one of those things that just came top of mind. Like, I've seen this scenario quite a bit throughout my real estate career, and I guess I want to address it. Now, again, there is no one size fits all for this scenario, but maybe I can give you a different perspective or a different way to think about it. And it's buying while dating. Yep, buying while dating. And what I mean by that is, you know, you and your girlfriend, maybe 2 years dating, decide to live together, and you're renting an apartment together. And, you know, most people probably, they may want to get married, to be honest. Maybe not. They don't have any kids. Their kid is the 2 dogs that they have, or the cat. And, you know, talking about marriage, like, I'm not a reverend, I'm not a pastor, I'm not going to stand on the soapbox and say, hey, you're shacking up, you need to be married. I mean, let's just face it. Marriage does not have the best track record in this country. I mean, if you look at, you can Google the numbers. I don't know if it's 50% success rate, you know, kind of like flipping a coin, but you know, if you decide not to jump the broom or get married, I definitely understand, but life goes on. And so let's say, hey, Andre, I get this all the time. Me and my significant other, we want to buy a house. However, my mom, my dad, it's like, hey, you all aren't married. Why would you do that? Outsiders saying, hey, you're buying a house. That's a huge commitment. Why would you do that? Well, I'm going to ask, hey, why wouldn't you do that? And, you know, think about it this way. Buying a property is an investment. Yeah, it's your home, and you're already living with this person. Chances are you both are on a lease that you are held accountable for if someone leaves. You know, if there's a breakup and you're in a lease, either you're going to stay angry and live together, you know, for whatever amount of months you have left on the lease. Somebody's just going to leave, can't bear it, and one person will be left holding the bag on the entire lease, or, you know, whatever it could be. It could just be a real ill situation. But with the house, think of it as a business arrangement, a partnership. If me and my friend bought a business, we went in 50-50 and we operated the business and we had our roles, we wanted to sell the business down the line, guess what? We're still going to split the proceeds 50-50 if that's the arrangement. Just like boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, if one says, hey, I'm going to put up most of the money, but the other one is going to pay most of the mortgage or what have you. I mean, if you're in Texas and you're married, regardless of who pays what or who put down what, like, that house is split down the middle if there's a divorce. It's 50-50 anyway. But if you're just dating, and if you all have an arrangement to say, hey, you know, this person, like, this is I think it's a joint tenancy, like this person owns 30% or this person owns 70, however you want to work it out. But it could be both your homesteads, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that you both have went into an investment with each other. So let's just say one person has to leave. Well, now it's a house. Like, you could just have somebody else rent out a room, or, you know, you could tell that person, hey, I have your kid. You should still, like, pay for your half of the mortgage. You know, there's different scenarios, or you both can leave the house and just rent it out and split the proceeds if there is some monthly cash flow, or, you know, sell it. Sell it. What? I have to sell this house because he or she wanted to leave? Well, yeah, I mean, the best thing about that is there's equity. Equity for both parties to move on, for both parties to split. I mean, I don't know about you. I haven't left too many relationships or broken up with too many exes where I was able to get some money out of the situation. You know, I bought some gifts. I wish I could have got reimbursed. Nah, I'm not an Indian giver like that. But I mean, if you catch my drift, like, buying an investment is something that two people together should not be opposed to just because of the tag or the label of their relationship. You know, I know groups of friends that buy property together, and what do they call that? They call that a syndicate. So that relationship is just a group of investors pooling money together to buy properties for investment purposes. Now, yeah, they're not living together. And sometimes when you live with someone, you could drive each other crazy. I get it. So relationships, like I said, they could be up and down. It can be a roller coaster. But an investment is going to do what it does. It's going to be solid within the time frame that they typically are. I mean, you could be in some down markets, but what goes down is going to shoot back up. So you know that whatever you invest in, you're going to be able to pull something out of that investment, get some kind of ROI. Also, it just makes sense if you are thinking about going to that next step. Somebody may say, well, I paid most of this and I think I should get this. Put it in writing. We know that most things don't last forever. And of course, nobody wants to get with a significant other with already thinking about the exit strategy in advance. But, if you are a realist and your partner is a realist, you should know that, hey, just in case, can we put this in writing? I'm going to pay all the mortgage. I put down the down payment. You pay all the utilities. So when it's time to go, I'm still going to do the right thing, but I'm just not going to give you this amount. And you could talk about that. So I have plenty of clients that, I helped them move into a property. I didn't know they weren't married. And now that the situation isn't working and they have kids, it's hey, I am going to give that person this. And I think that's fair. And the person may or may not. I mean, it can be a fight, whatever. But at the end of the day, when it clears up, there's still money available. So again, don't fall for the rhetoric. Oh, never buy a house unless it's your spouse. Nah, don't do it. Don't think about it. I mean, again, if your principles are that way and you've been with this person, hey, man, or hey, lady, or hey, whoever, how come you haven't put a ring on it? Do what you have to do and then buy the house. Okay, great. But why hold yourself back from gaining the equity and starting to build the wealth? Sometimes partners can come together. One person can afford the house themselves and they can move in. Then they can have this idea that, hey, we want to invest. And the other person is still freed up to buy the other house. And now they're like, hey, this is your house, this is mine, or they're both are ours. And we're going to split them equally. It just depends on how you make your business arrangement. So the next time you go on a date and you have a discussion about your future and what your plans are and your 5-year goals, and the other person is turned on by how assertive and how detailed your plan is, do the same thing when it's time to buy a house with that partner. Talk about the exit strategy. Talk about the plans. Talk about your goals with this property. And also talk about if things go sour, how are we going to deal with this? How are we going to make this split? Preparation is key. And I just say it's important. Again, I don't want to rain on anybody who is thinking about going to the altar's parade and telling them marriage sucks. Because, it can still work for people. Like I said, it's probably 50-50. But again, buying a home, especially your first, is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You can only buy your first home once. And, take it from me. It pays. So, again, that's another quick episode of Boss Up with Mr. Key, the real estate edition. I want you all to know that, don't be afraid. Step out of there. I can hear all the excuses. I've heard them all. But there's nothing like owning a piece of the soil. Again, if this resonated with you, I want you to like, comment, subscribe, or share with a friend. Let them know, hey, man, you thinking about buying that property, but you don't have a ring? It doesn't really mean that you can't move forward. And who told you? Andre told you. Until the next time, thanks for checking out Boss Up with Mr. Key.